Tepid, a cold sponge bath. It is the application of cold water to the surface of the skin by means of a wet sponge. Step number 1. Prepare the water to a temperature of about 29.5 degrees Celsius or 85 Fahrenheit, but added ice chips to bring the temperature down while bathing the patient until the water temperature reaches about 18 degrees Celsius. Step number 2. Prepare the client. Explain the face, neck, arms, legs, and back. It is optional will be sponged that the procedure takes about 25 to 30 minutes, rationally to gain cooperation. Next, protect the patient's bed with moisture-proof materials, rationally to protect the linens from getting wet. Letter C. Remove the gown and assist the client to a comfortable supine position. And the rationale for that is removing the gown provides access to all skin surfaces. After the removal of gown, next, you should cover the patient properly to prevent shivering as various parts of the body are exposed to bathing. The rationale for prevention of chilling, minimal exposure, and provision of privacy. Place the bed towel under the head. And next, prepare the several ice bags. Once ice bag is placed on the patient's head to promote comfort, other placed in the axillary areas in the groin or the blood vessels are close to skin. Rationally protects the bedsheet from getting wet. The ice bag helps to cool the patient further. The axilla and groins contains large superficial blood vessels that aid the transfer of heat. The application of ice bag promotes cold temperature of the body core by conduction. After wetting the 4 washcloths and fold into 4, place washcloths into the axilla and groins. Washcloths need to be as moist as possible to be effective. Leave washcloths in place for about 5 minutes or until they feel warm. Re-wet and replace as required during the bath. Washcloths warm up relatively quickly in such vascular areas. Step number 3. Immerse folded washcloths or material for sponging in basin with water. After that, sponge the client's face with plain water, pat to dry, then sponge the neck. Sponging the face and neck should be within 3 to 5 minutes. Rationally, friction of rubbing may raise body temperature. Sponge the arms and legs. Place a bath towel under arm and sponge the arms slowly, gently for about 3 to 5 minutes, or as tolerated by clients, the farther arm should be the first to be sponged. Slow, gentle motions are indicated because firm rubbing motion increase tissue metabolism and heat production. Cool sponges given rapidly or for a short period of time tend to increase the body's heat production mechanism by causing shivering. Cover but do not dry each part as it is sponge. Evaporation of moisture of the skin helps to reduce body temperature, and excessively heavy covering may increase body temperature. Do the same thing in the lower extremities. Hold the washcloth briefly over the wrist and ankles. The blood circulation is close to the skin surface in the wrist and ankles. Change water PRN. Water temperature rises as the result of exposure to the patient's warm body surface. If the back portion of the patient's body is to be sponged, do this for 10 minutes. It is optional. The entire chest and abdomen are usually not sponged. Next, check the patient's skin color and pulse rate during the bath. If the patient becomes pale or catatonic, if the pulse rate increases or becomes irregular, discontinue the bath. This indicates that the temperature of the patient may have dropped to subnormal level. Do aftercare of equipment and change bed linens if soiled to avoid transmission of infections. Check the patient's body temperature about 30 minutes after the bath to evaluate the effectiveness of the sponge bath. Document assessment, including the temperature rechecks, Drop temperature is recorded crop according to agency policy. Recording communicates the care provided in an accurate and firmly fashion, and thus washes to deters the microorganisms.